We're talking with Dr. Naomi Wolfe, and we're talking about the Pfizer papers. It's an incredible project. I don't think I've ever seen anything like this. Steve Bannon, I think, called it a crowdsourcing research project, which is I don't know of anything like this that's ever taken place. And she and Amy Kelley pulled together the most incredible. I mean, it's a super thick book, climbing the bestseller list. I mean, but look how thick this is, and you know, it's not large print. It's just a big book. Tell me a little bit about your journey with Steve Bannon, because I mean, you guys would have been, 20 years ago on opposite sides of the political spectrum, but you came together to do something amazing.
I mean, it's one of the most extraordinary stories, all of it, right? Like, to organize 3,250 people into 6 teams with a committee at the head of each, working in different time zones around the clock for no money to bring the truth to the world and save millions of lives. It's a movie, right? And I don't know how Amy Kelley did it if it weren't a little bit for the hand of divine providence, because it's like it's impossible to imagine otherwise, And the fact that not 20 years ago, but 4 years ago, I thought that Steve Bannon was one of the worst people on the planet, because that's how I'd been propagandized. And to this day, we don't agree on a lot of policy issues. I'm still a classical liberal. He's still an arch conservative. But it really didn't matter when it came to profound threats. And I said this on the air to him last night. When it came to profound threats to women and babies, it wasn't the feminists on my side, the feminist health advocates who gave me a platform. It wasn't, liberal legacy media that gave me a platform. It wasn't all the right-on people who are supposed to care about women's health, who had loved my work for 40 years, by the way, No, it was this arch conservative who was the only person who offered me a platform to bring my concerns to his audience, and who then was the godfather of this extraordinary undertaking. I mean, even yesterday, this book was behind him while he faced a hostile audience of my former friends, 30 to 40 representatives of the legacy media. And it is an extraordinary story. We still don't agree on a lot of things, but he cares about the Constitution and he cares about human life. And beyond any of this, he's a journalist. And this is the biggest story, if not, certainly of the 21st century, right? And I keep going on his show and saying, Washington Post, I'll give you our records. New York Times, I'll give you our records. This is the biggest story that your readers could ever hope to read. It affects them and their loved ones profoundly. And literally, Steve Bannon was the first major news outlet to act like a news outlet in terms of this story and pay attention to it and facilitate it. So it's an amazing, I can't believe it happened to this day. I'm how can I put it? I have no evidence that his unbelievably harsh prison term for a misdemeanor has anything to do with the threat he posed to Pfizer, as well as this administration, who are deeply implicated in the crimes that this book annotates, right? This book is not just a compendium of what happened to you. It's also an analysis of a crime scene, a massive crime scene. But I can't believe it helped. And by the way, we've been really effective. Pfizer's net revenue is down, or gross revenue is down to 2016 levels. And the people who took the booster are in single digits, according to the CDC. So maybe even less than that. We dealt them a crippling blow, and we saved, again, thousands of lives and maybe millions of babies.